Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Undersecretary General. Imagine a crisp fall morning in northern Israel, in Metula. Farmers working in their fields, boys and girls walking to school, neighbors wishing each other Boker Tov, good morning, and going about their days. Metula is surrounded by the Lebanese border, but the town lives in calm and quiet until the terror starts. Suddenly, a force of 250 Hezbollah terrorists from the elite Radwan unit emerge from the end of a cross-border terror tunnel. This tunnel spans from Kfar, Lebanon, directly into Metula, Israel. It was built to enable this large group of Hezbollah terrorists to move swiftly across the border underground. The tunnels are wide enough for Radwan terrorists to march 2 by 2 into Israel. Hezbollah's Radwan forces will use this tunnel to invade Israel and take over Metula. Its terrorists will kill civilians, children, and the elderly. Then it will close Road 90, the highway connecting Metula with the rest of the Galilee, holding Metula under siege. But now, imagine this tragic scenario multiplied 5 times over. Imagine Hezbollah's Radwan terrorists using 5 different tunnels to enter 5 other towns in Israel: Kiryat Shmona, Avivim, Zar'it, Adamit, Manara, killing innocent Israeli civilians, kidnapping them, and taking over parts of the Galilee. Hezbollah called this strategic and operational plan conquering the Galilee. It is a ground attack, but Hezbollah does not stop there. Hezbollah shoots thousands of rockets and missiles into northern Israel. It launches anti-tank missiles that could easily hit a bus full of children. It seizes control of northern Israel's major roads and highways. It uses Shiite militias together with the Radwan forces to cross the blue line into Israel, overcome obstacles Israel has set in their way, and launch terror attacks against Israel by sea. What I just described, this is not just a figment of the imagination. But, Mr. President, we will never allow this to happen. Through an extensive intelligence operation, Israel monitored Hezbollah's widespread terror tunnel project, spanning from Lebanon into Israel's sovereign territory and underneath the Blue Line. On December 4, 2018, Israel initiated Operation Northern Shield. This operation is a protective measure to prevent the possibility of such a grave reality from ever taking place. It's a preemptive logistical operation on our side of the Blue Line. The goal was and remains to neutralize and destroy Hezbollah's terror tunnels. The IDF has reported the existence so far of 4 terror tunnels in 4 separate geographical locations that begin in Lebanon and infiltrate Israel. Israel has informed its partners about this extensive operation and has also provided UNIFIL with full information about the tunnels. Throughout all of this, Hassan Nasrallah, the Secretary General of Hezbollah, has remained oddly silent. 2 days ago, UNIFIL confirmed the existence of these terror tunnels. UNIFIL stated clearly that Hezbollah's activities constitute a violation of Security Council Resolution 1701 and are a matter of serious concern. Israel transferred all of the information to UNIFIL. We even provided exact coordinates of the opening of the tunnels on the Lebanese side. What did we expect UNIFIL to do with that information? Perhaps take control of the area, destroy the tunnels, follow its mandate? But what did UNIFIL do? It passed all of the information to the Lebanese army. The Lebanese army could have worked with UNIFIL to remove Hezbollah completely from the area, or maybe destroy the tunnels, done its job to keep its people safe. But what did the Lebanese army do? It sent the information directly to Hezbollah. Hezbollah then sealed the tunnels. It tried to cover the evidence. Here you have a picture that we took inside one of the tunnels, one of the Hezbollah terror attack tunnels on our side. As you can see, Hezbollah has placed a fence and bricks inside the tunnel in an attempt to hide it. We don't expect that to happen, that the Hezbollah will get the information and immediately will send the terrorists to block the tunnel. UNIFIL has one primary responsibility, and I quote from its mandate, to ensure that its area of operations is not utilized for hostile activities of any kind. Israel has revealed to UNIFIL that Major Yahya Husseini, a high-ranking member of the Lebanese army, is using his position to advance the interests of Hezbollah. This is not the first instance of cooperation between the terrorist group and the Lebanese army. Husseini is part of a liaison network between the Lebanese army and Hezbollah. The Lebanese army even promoted him. Mr. President, the Lebanese armed forces, the so-called official military of Lebanon, is supposed to ensure calm and stability in the region. In South Lebanon, there are 10,000 soldiers of the Lebanese armed forces. They, along with more than 11,000 UNIFIL peacekeepers, 11,000, have one objective: to prevent Hezbollah from terrorizing the area. Yet, somehow, Hezbollah, with less than 10,000 terrorists, has full control of the area. The Lebanese army has chosen to work with Hezbollah. It does this in two ways: by giving Hezbollah information that helps the terror group's efforts, and by preventing UNIFIL from carrying out its mandate in the region. We hear with great concern, but with no surprise, that the Lebanese army is not giving UNIFIL full access to the coordinates provided by Israel, and is not stopping Hezbollah from confronting UNIFIL forces on the ground. Let me be abundantly clear. Hezbollah's activities are a flagrant and unacceptable violation of Security Council Resolution 1701 and the Blue Line. They also violate the UN Charter and international law. In order for the new commander of UNIFIL, Major General Del Col, to succeed, we want him to succeed in his role, UNIFIL cannot make the same mistakes he did under the previous commander. Israel has informed UNIFIL time and again of Hezbollah's terror activities, but they have never appeared in the 38 reports on Resolution 1701. 38 reports. I spoke here at the Security Council and exposed Hezbollah's violations. In June 2017, I visited the northern border with Major General Biri, the former commander of UNIFIL, together with IDF officials. On that day, he said, and I quote, "The region is calm. The situation is good. There is no need for change." Direct quote. Today, no one can deny the facts. In this picture, you can see the tunnel crossing the Blue Line, almost directly underneath a UNIFIL observation point. You can see the tunnel right here, crossing the border, and meters from the tunnel, a UNIFIL observation point. When a terror attack tunnel runs from a private property and under the blue line, the region is not calm. The situation is not good. There must be a change. UNIFIL could not even enter certain sections of its own mandated area of operations. UNIFIL must be granted full access to all of its area of operations, including the private properties and nature reserves that Hezbollah is exploiting for terror. And we know that it's a game. For example, Hezbollah has conducted operations behind the guise of a MAC NGO known as Green Without Borders. People in this room have seen these operations with their own eyes. Israel calls on UNIFIL to carry out its full mandate under Security Council Resolution 2433 and maintain regional security. The world has expectations of UNIFIL that it must meet. The Security Council must designate Hezbollah as a terrorist organization, just as it designated ISIL, Al-Qaeda, and the Taliban. The international community must condemn Hezbollah in the strongest terms and stand by Israel's self-defensive measures. It is the expectation that Lebanon will eliminate these terror tunnels and prevent the building of future attack tunnels that threaten Israel. Israel will continue Operation Northern Shield to neutralize the threat of the tunnels. We have the full right, like any other nation in the world, to defend ourselves, our sovereignty, and our people. Mr. President, Hezbollah's severe violations of Resolution 1701 do not end with its terror tunnel project. Unfortunately, the terror tunnels reflect just a small part of Hezbollah's illegal activities in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah is building military capabilities and infrastructure with the ultimate goal of using them to attack Israel. Take one village, for example, Kfar Kile, a Lebanese town of close to 15,000 people next to our border. Houses have been turned into bunkers. Schools have become weapons storage facilities. I ask the distinguished ambassador of Lebanon, look what you have allowed Hezbollah to do in southern Lebanon. Why are you putting your own people in danger? Not only is Hezbollah violating Resolution 1701, but it is also exploiting the innocent civilians of southern Lebanon as human shields. I will share with you the evidence. For the first time, we reveal this information. This is Kfar Kila. In this aerial photo that we are revealing today for the first time, you can see the complete transformation of this village into a terror terminal. All the dots are bunkers, storing weapons. Here you can see where the tunnels start, in the village, private properties. Hezbollah has built a terror terminal from Kfar Kile into Israel. It stores weaponry and builds command and control centers. This is a reality. Imagine what will happen to this village in case we will have to defend ourselves. Hezbollah has also established the foundation for launching attacks against Israel, using homes as command and control centers, turning civilian and private infrastructure into weapons armories, and building elaborate operational capabilities inside villages and forests. These violations reflect just the backdrop of Hezbollah's illegal activities in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah has stockpiled thousands of rockets and missiles within these areas. That is the reality on the ground. What does the international community honestly expect Israel to do in the face of this grave danger? Mr. President, the Lebanese ambassador called to condemn Israel. We appreciate her concern for the Lebanese people, especially in Kfar Kile, as she mentioned in her December 6 letter to the Council. But she represents a government that allows Iran and its proxies to turn Lebanon into a launching pad for terror. The Lebanese government is endangering its own people by simply doing nothing. How have you allowed Hezbollah to build an underground city of tunnels that places the citizens of Lebanon in constant danger? There are no expectations from a terrorist organization to act appropriately. But where was your government? What has your government done to prevent Hezbollah from triggering a regional war? Hezbollah is hijacking the entire state of Lebanon to attack Israel, and the government of Lebanon has surrendered. By closing its eyes, as its people live inside a ticking time bomb of terror tunnels, missiles, and rockets, the government of Lebanon has failed its people. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu revealed that Hezbollah has placed at least 3 precision missile conversion sites directly beside Beirut's international airport. Hezbollah is building its own precision missile production capabilities. Hezbollah is now holding over 100,000 rockets and missiles across Lebanon. You may wonder how Hezbollah, a terrorist organization, could get away with this. The answer is simple. 1. Hezbollah is now, more than ever, paralyzing and eroding the pillars of the state of Lebanon with its ever-growing grip on power. 2. Iran. As Nasrallah said himself, and I quote, "We are open about the fact that Hezbollah's budget, income, its expenses, everything it eats and drinks, its weapons and rockets, come from the Islamic Republic of Iran." Mr. President, Iran is the lifeblood of Hezbollah, ideologically, financially, militarily, and even culturally. Based on piling evidence and reports, Iran is not only transferring game-changing weapons to Lebanon through the border with Syria, but in flagrant violation of numerous Security Council resolutions, Iran is now transporting these weapons on commercial planes, landing in Beirut's international airport. After its joint campaign of killing in Syria, Iranian fighters, Shiite militias, and Hezbollah terrorists, specifically the Radwan unit, are joining forces once again, this time against Israel. Mr. President, before I conclude, let me be crystal clear. If Hezbollah makes the mistake of attacking Israel, opposing our actions, or violating our sovereignty, make no mistake, Israel will act. We will act swiftly. We will act by land, by air, by sea. We will act with our full force and might. If there is a war that must be fought for Israel to defend itself against Hezbollah's terrorism, the world would say, as it always does, how could this have been prevented? Well, today, even that future war could have been prevented with this body acting as it is charged to do, calling out these flagrant violations of international law and acting finally and decisively. Israel is protecting itself. Operation Northern Shield ensures the safety of our people. Israel has no intention to escalate the situation. But we are not naive. As the famous playwright Anton Chekhov once said, if you place a gun in the first act, it must fire in the last. Hezbollah's terror tunnels and missiles were not created without purpose. They were created for Hezbollah to use against us. If Hezbollah will have the arrogance to attack Israel, we will bury it in the rubble of Lebanon. We will never let terror win. Thank you, Mr. President.